Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Models and Musings. I'm Laz, your usual host. Thank you for coming to join me. As the title of the description says, tonight I'm doing hammer. But I found out a problem with resin as opposed to plastic. Now, resin is a lot more fragile, as you can see. Hammer is no longer in one piece. Good evening, Ali. Hello. Hammer is not in one piece anymore. Hammer is now in two pieces and a hand. So I'm going to have to repair that, which I'm not looking forward to because it's a pain in the bum. But still, what we're going to do is drill a tiny little hole in the base of the hammerhead. I've drilled a hole complete. Don't be breaking more stuff. Jeez, no. Oops, daisy indeed, Ali. Oops, daisy indeed. So I've drilled a hole straight through his hand. So as you can see there, I can push that all the way through. So I'm going to push that up there first. Then I'm going to glue the hammer in. Pardon me. Oh, I am sorry. Pardon me. That means I need to drink. I do have a cup of tea. So I'm going to have to glue the hammer in first, which I'm not looking forward to doing because I only want a tiny bit of glue on it, and I don't want it to run too much. But then I want to push that in there and wait for it to set. That is a good point. I hope you are all doing well. It has been a few weeks since I've been up and we've all chatted. So things in the Lazy Mini Painting household are coming a little bit back to normal. So hopefully this will start progressing as it usually does. And I'll be back to the Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays again. I'm not too sure about this Thursday because, well, it's half term at the moment, so the children are off. And this Wednesday will probably end up being a later stream than usual. Just because I'm going to have Mini Laz running around. And, well, Mini Laz running around can be possibly one of the biggest distractions I get. I'll just put a tiny little glue in there now. And now we try and get it to set into his hand. There we go. Because of this nice little bit of wire here, I get to hold it relatively nicely away from my fingers so it doesn't glue my fingers together. Like so. See, that works. So now he's got his hammer in his hand. It's still twisting a little bit, which isn't good. It's not good. But while it's twisting, I need glue there. That's where my finger is. Ow. See, it's set on my finger so bloody quickly, but does it want to set there? No, does it, heck? Now I've got a fingerprint on that bloody hammer now. And it's just literally gluing everything. My finger's getting stuck to every part of it. Which I'm not particularly keen on. I don't like getting glued to things. It's not fun. It's not nice. And sometimes it even hurts. So you're not setting there, but you're setting everywhere bloody else. See, that's not good. I don't want his hands swinging like that. And there's glue on it. So why is it not setting? This is the fun part, isn't it? Where we get to sit and wait for things to dry. So let's take that off there and let's see if I can actually get it to sit in it. Right. Leave that to dry for now. While I'm in the process of leaving that to dry, we have a head to glue on and we have a shield to glue on. So I can do that while I'm waiting. I'm going to get the shield. I'm going to wet the side of the shield with that method, because it likes gluing to me. So way too much glue. Let's just knock that bit out. And then get that nicely lodged into his shoulder there. I know it will fit because it went in a minute ago. There we go. That's a shield nicely in. And then we need a head. And hopefully by the time we put the head in, that's going to have finished drying. You can see my confidence. The super glue just doesn't dry when it needs to for me. It's a real pain. It is a real pain. So tiny drop of glue in there. Now this head is the only unhelmeted head I will be using. You've got two nice little braids coming down to go over his armor, and that is going to pop in there. So that's most of him actually put together now. We just need to check. Yep, there we go. That's nicely glued in. So now I need to. Now I know there's not much of a hole in the base of the handle because I couldn't drill it that close. So I'm going to have to clip that off there and hope that it's enough, or not too much, should I say. So let's just take a little bit more off, but we don't want to be catching the arm. It's twisting now. It's twisting. Not a problem, Ali. We'll see you soon. You go make yourself a nice cup of tea. Now we'll have to flatten that so it goes back into the hole. Get the hole, get the hole. All right. Then wet that bit a little bit. Let's stick it in my mouth. Very small one. I mean, it is bloody tiny. And I don't like using this glue because it's got a very large hole. So being careful with it isn't as easy as you would think. I really want a tiny, tiny little bit. And then that to slot onto the bottom there. And now we have a hammer arm that I'm going to have to let set again because, well, it's now gluing to my finger. But we now have his hammer fixed because I can't believe I broke it. It broke in the bag because I put all the models in the bag with the arms on and the heads on that I wanted to go with which one. And yeah, it snapped. Now, it snapped because I didn't do proper resin care. So if you are buying a resin model, as I found out, you need to prime it first to stop it from curing even further and becoming brittle. It's a learning curve, but we get there in the end. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to have to lick in his shoulder and glue that bit instead of the other way around, which I did for his shield, because this is just sticking to everything else at the minute. So let's hold in there for a second. A tiny hit of glue on there. Just a little. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Where's my sandpaper? I can just see a couple of little bumps on there that could make it difficult to fit. So I'm just going to scuff it up a little bit. while it glues itself to my fingers, because I'm holding it in that position where it will glue to my fingers, which is nice. Unattach it from my finger. Give that a bit of a twist just to make sure it's all nice and yep, that's all good. So make sure we have human reaction agent. I got a bit of super glue on my tongue. That's not good. That's going to be a bit crispy and make my tongue feel all weird. Okay, so now that I've finished removing the model from my fingers, we have one sergeant with a very large hammer, very large hammer, a nice buckler, as opposed to a tower shield, which you'll get from like the Blade Guard veterans and stuff. In fact, do I have a tower shield? Do I have a tower shield for comparison? I should have one, shouldn't I? In fact, you all know I've got one because I've got a spare lieutenant somewhere. But it's that somewhere that is the key. I think it's in this Amazon box. There we go. So as opposed to a shield like a tower shield like this one, he's got a smaller buckler. Whereas this lieutenant will have a sword and board, a great big whopping shield in front of him and a sword, whereas he's got deflection, parrying shield and a great big hammer. So it's quite a large difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, which should be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I'm currently missing the base for the lieutenant, which was a shame because it's like ideal for this guy. But I do have an extra shield should I want to make someone stand out a little bit more. Now, this is going to be his temporary base. I have cut 2 MDF bases out, which I will be using. 3 actually, because I've got this one also. So that will eventually become his actual base. But for now, for painting purposes, I'm just going to glue him to this piece of card. That way it makes it a lot easier to paint. I don't have to worry about what happens here because I can redo it all on everything else. And it gives me something to hold it onto when I'm just underneath, so I'm not holding the base fully. So for now, luckily it glues to card damn near instantly. So that shouldn't take long at all. So while I'm waiting for him to dry, I do want to be getting him painting as well tonight. So I'm going to wait for the glue to dry on my fingers so I'm not gluing myself to my paint pots. I have a brush ready for the basin, and I have a brushes ready for dry brushing. My usual setup is paint black, dry brush with an ivory just to get the highlights so you can see the detail. So while I'm waiting for him to dry, let's first of all clean out excess paint because that's not good. That's an empty and unliable pot, which might come in handy for making my own. And now he's, in fact, even better. I've got a painting handle. And I can pop his base into the painting handle, into the top layer, if it will. So, space them apart, and then it should fit in there somewhere. It should be able to fit in there anyway on the small base. Yep, there we go. That should make him nice and easy to paint now. Good evening, Beaky. How are you doing, Buzzard? You all right, mate? It has been a long time since we spoke. It's been a long time since I've spoke to anybody, but I know it's been definitely a long time since I've spoke to you. Which is odd, because at one point we would speak daily. So it is a bit of a change for me. I am trying to get back into that routine where I've got time for myself. That'll be a nice one. So next we just need to wait for all that glue to dry. And then I can paint it. Or I can base coat him anyway. And yes, there is a lot of Chaos Marines on my desk at the moment, and a lot of Harlequins on my desk at the moment, and I know I don't collect either one of those armies. But I have been trying out paint schemes. So, for instance, the Black Legion, and what I will eventually have as my army colours for my Chaos Marines will be Khorne Berserkers. Welcome back, Ali. So that will be the base colour for my Chaos Marines when I get them. Wednesday, I should be getting the Dark Apostle, I think. Now, I know I missed last Wednesday, so while I'm waiting for that dry, I will just go over it. I did manage to actually get the copy of it, what it was. So it's issue, 30 with 2 paints. So this Wednesday will be the Dark Apostle, which is the first Chaos Marine we get. Then after that is, again, more paints. But it's going to be a lot of models after that, so that's going to be awesome. So I will be covering that on Wednesday along with this week's magazine, as I missed Wednesday just gone, really, didn't I? So that wasn't good. The joys of this hobby, waiting for things to dry. You have to, otherwise you end up painting and stuff in, and your bristles end up getting caught in super glue. And you don't want that. Make sure everything's, just give it a bit of a wiggle, make sure everything's set in place where it should. Nicely. Awesome. And that looks to be dry as well. So let's give them a base coat. Obviously, give the paint a shake first. Now, this is pre-watered down. This is the base coat. Was it that bad, Buzzard? Come on, man. It can't be that bad. Wet the brush. Lick the brush off in my case. Sparkles and Oak are currently sat up there, still stuck in the little... No, I'll get them down. Sparkles and Oak are on the way, so you can tell them apart. I've got to... Now it's to do the class-specific colours. So as we have a cleric, they're allowed to use gold and metals and things. But with a druid, you've got to use wood and you've got to use natural materials. So now it's just picking out the bits that are different. As you can see, the staff for the cleric is just gold. In this case, it's actually going to try and be real pineapple, so it's going to be yellow base built up with brown and nice green tops, then a wooden stick. Not figured out what I'm quite going to do for some of the other sections yet, but yeah, I'm happy with how they're working out. I just need to carry on again. The thing is, this Thursday, I don't know what time I'm going to be back, so the magical world may be off pot for another week, but that does mean I will have to put extra work in the following weeks just to catch up. So let's give him a nice black base coat, and once that's dry, we can give him the dry brush and then start looking where we wish to add colour and washes and change certain things. I have yet to decide on a colour for the hammer. Although, with it being more of a meat tenderizer type thing, I'm thinking gold and red. Or black and red, at least. Most of my power weapons I intend to make black and red, almost like a red tinted obsidian. So it looks mostly black, but it's like, oh wait a minute, no, it's really dark red. I have set myself one for a year, so I've still got time. I've still got time. It's not like I am ridiculous behind time. I've got enough done on the actual base layer. I have a tub now, so I can use the filler to finish off the extra wall sections and the ground section, and then I can work on from there with bases and the other characters that will be going on the lower ground and ground floor, which I still don't have stats and classes for the lower ground floor water creatures. So if anyone's wishing to, please pop in there if you want to ask questions about what type of classes, characters, things like that you could go with. Ask questions. But yeah, no, for the water characters, there has been no classes assigned to them. There have been no names. There has been no color schemes. There has been nothing. Just in case anyone is watching this and going, oh, I've not seen that model before. So pop in the description down below and you'll find Rogue's Den Hobbies. And that is where I got this from, along with more of them. There is a unit of 5. Now, they're not supposed to be Terminator scale. They are supposed to represent the standard. They're supposed to be the equivalent of one of these, just a bit bigger because they're bears. But because they are a bit bigger, they do fit nicely into the next scale up for what would be a standard marine. So these scale nicely towards the Terminator aggressor side. So with a bit of conversion, you could get most elites out of a standard troop set. But if you wanted to build an entire army out of these, you could get the troop set, and there's an even bigger unit that would represent the Terminator size. I mean, they're quite huge around a Centurion. Yes, in the Discord for Sparkles and Oak. I'll have a quick look now, Ali. I should have Discord open. Where is it now? Sparkles and Oak discussion. First pick, Wizard, Sharkfin, name, colours, perhaps purple cloak. And the third pick, but doesn't have fins, so definitely fish, so it looks like a normal fish, perhaps. So a gold colour for the little thing on the little tiny familiar, and then more fishy type scales on that, fair enough. And what did you say for the first one? Purple cloak, the belt, perhaps blue, and the pouch and the staff and the wand. Second pick would sorcerer, which is more of a lizard. Colours, the ball of the wand, perhaps like a lightning effect, dark purples, and then lightning streaks. The handle, perhaps silver, and the shoulder strap, perhaps gold. So you're thinking of the one with all the gills and stuff there. That's not a bad idea, actually. There seems to be a lot of blues and purples going on within the color choices, but that kind of makes sense with it being water based, with them being. No, I mean it looks all right. Basically, because of the way they look, you've recommended spellcasters, which is pretty much right. They have a staff. They look more like spellcasters than they do warriors. So I understand that, but I was thinking along those lines as well, whether or not to go warlock, whether to go wizard, sorcerer, or possibly some of the half casters. Half casters not necessarily being as good, so I'm going to struggle getting bards in there. because, well, bards are bastards. Let's just put it that way, shall we? Just dry my brush off a bit. Back to the paint. There's not much black paint to put on him now, I don't think. Finish off this arm. Finish off the shaft of his hammer. Ah! That man, if you don't know who I mean, then I'm not going to say it, because you'll go find him and then you'll be just as bad. Has really, really changed on how people look at hammers on the internet. If you know who it is, then you know who it is. If you don't know who he is, you don't know who it is. Good evening, Twisted. How are you doing, man? I hope you're in a good condition today, or at least a better condition than you have been, because I believe you've been having a bit of trouble with the old condition. That's probably the best way I can put it. I've had a couple of not great days with mine, but my condition is nowhere near as bad as yours, so I'm not even going to put it in comparison. And before you say everybody's is different, yes, I know everyone's different, but I've heard about yours and I get to know about mine, and yours sounds a lot more worse. You're sitting up? Fucking yeah. Go on, mate. Yeah, but you're sitting up. You're sitting up. That's a good thing. That is a very good thing. I mean, it's a stage better than I was the other week. I wasn't leaving bloody bed. Which, needless to say, is not fun when you want to come down on the computer and do some painting. And the man of the hour, Graham. I've had to repair the hammer. I don't think I've done too bad of a job. It isn't 100% straight, but let's face it, when it's still looking like that, you're not going to notice much. You're not. But the hammer and shield is, just look at him. Look at him. He's a fucking beast. Got fractile style armor. Whopping great big hammer in his hand. And not an impractical shield like the blade guard. It's a nice little buckler for parrying. Whereas the blade guard, that's just big daft fucking tower shields. How are you supposed to run across a battlefield with a tower shield? Really? Should be the other way around. They should have bucklers and these should have tower shields because they've got the bigger fucking armor. It is. Well, I've had to pin him straight through. So he's now been pinned straight through his hand to line it up and get it right. But pinning works wonderfully well. Right, that's the... See, I'm not as keen on... I've changed to a Games Workshop washi pot. Ooh, oh no, he is something nice. He is a bit nice, him. But he's big. And when I say big, I mean he's fucking big. Let's see if I can get the picture up. Rosedon House. Guestenho. And it comes up for me now. Tabletop Hobbies Collection, Tabletop Time Space Bears. It literally just comes up with that entire section for me. Where's he gone? Now we've got the Space Bear Veterans, which is the equivalent of a librarian and a chaplain, with or without capes. And you get that's the Kodiak Veterans, and then you get the Makwa Veterans, which is the Apothecary and Tapmarine. Now, these are the Makwa size ones. The Kodiak ones are the bigger ones. Now let's find this chappie and what's he called? Because I can't remember his actual name, but I have seen him. There we are. Usan Ursa, leader of the bears. Now, he does have a big hammer, and he has a claw, and he has a cape, and he has a whopping great big huge tactical rock. So let's how do we do this now? Window. Good evening, Steve. How you doing, man? I'm getting more Space Marines. Share browser. There we go. No. Then I'll copy that, and I'll copy that, and then I'll copy that. I hate OBS sometimes. It just does not make things easily. In fairness, Ali, there is quite a possibility you may be the youngest person here. Just to let you know that. Because you got me, I'm over 40. Steve's over 40. You might be okay with, I think Graham's a little bit younger than me. So, yeah, you might be okay there. Oh, why is he asking me for cookies? Well, it's not asking me for cookies on there. So why is it asking me for cookies on there? Yep, so Graham's a little bit shorter. So, oh, right. So you're on 5. So Graham's the baby. Graham's the baby in here, and he's at 38. So I don't think we can. Right. So that's not right. So let's remove that one. Now, I know we've had this up before. It is hungry being over a certain age. As I said, Graham's the youngest one here. Aha. There we go. So that is Mr. Leader of the Space Bears. And when I say he is bloody massive, he is bloody massive. So I'm not far off being the youngest, and that's not too bad. But yeah, Space Bear, that is one heck of a tactical rock there, Graham. That is a tactical rock. No, I want to put desk above. I don't want to move that down. There we go. Don't start telling him that, Ali. You'll start believing it. He'll be jumping over gates and back fences and all sorts. Graham is the baby. He's probably not going to like me calling him the baby, but yeah, he's Graham's the baby. You can't really do much when everyone's over 40 or 50. Everyone else is over 40 or 50. Which is why I don't advertise for kids. Can you imagine a bunch of kids coming in here with a bunch of old farts? It's like, you don't even know you're alive. You don't even remember box sets when they were back when 20 quid for 10 Space Marines. 2 quid a Space Marine and you got a full set of heavy weapons. Well, what the fuck are you on about, Granddad? Yeah, that's pretty much how that one's going to go. Oh shit, don't be doing that on your fucking gym clothes, you dick. I was about to rub the paintbrush off on my gym clothes. It's not a good idea. Righty ho, mister. Let's start bringing out some of your detail. So we've got nice areas to paint that we know about. Ooh, he's already looking good. Yep, I remember with televisions with knobs. I remember the televisions with the push-out bit that you had the little tiny little cogs that you sit there going, trying to tune each fucking channel. And for some reason, Sega would only work on channel 8. Not sure why Sega would only work on channel 8, but it would. Nintendo, you can get on pretty much any channel, but yeah, for some reason, the channel 8 on my TV. It was annoying. And every time my mate would bring either Master System or his Mega Drive over, we have to sit there retuning the fucking telly. Because channel 8 was also the one that I could get channel 4 on, which was weird. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to tune it into any of the major 4 channels that we have over here, or had over here. We've got more now. We've got Freeview and God knows what bloody awful channels that. I mean, there's nothing on television, in fairness, but yeah, we've got a fair few channels now, apart from just the standard 4 or 5. It turned to 5 in the late 90s. Which everyone was like, wow, we're getting 5 channels. You're on about the days when TV used to turn off, aren't you, Steve? This is the end of broadcasting. Go to bed. Spotty. Sorry, that was a young one's quote. So if I'm going to go off my army scheme and what I've done for the bear, I mean, now you can see it is quite detailed model. Do you remember when TV AM started? That's a fair while ago. That's a fair while ago. I mean, I remember when Big Breakfast started, but I don't remember when Good Morning TV started. I'm not happy with Big Breakfast either, because that's how we got the ginger tosser. And that's not an affront to you, Ali. Not all ginger people are tossers. Just that one is a big tosser. Called Chris Evans. He's a dick. Don't like him. Right. So we already know he has to have black skin so he matches in with everybody else. So his head's going to have to be... he's going to have black skin. Because he's a salamander descendant, and they're all jet black skin. The majority of his armor is going to have to be black. Shoulder pads are blue and silver. But he's got a big furry bit. Oh, I have one of the old Ferguson thingy stars. Top, yeah. I remember those VHSs. Yeah, they were top. They were damn near indestructible. You could drop them from like 12 floors, block of flats, and they'll fucking bounce back up to your living room and set themselves up. It was great. Don't give a crap how much he's worth. It's a ginger tosser. No amount of money is going to be able to buy him out of that one. So, right. Couple of options. Start with black, which I do have a new paint box. It should be under here somewhere. Because, well, that's the process of doing that. What's in here? I think this is all tanks in here now. Yeah, that's all tanks now. A lager. Okay. General chat. Oh shit! Is that how much of the plate? Only. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. 10 of them. Shit. What other weapons do you have? Sorry, people. I'm just gonna have to go have a look through Rogue's Den Hobbies because I need to order something else. It's probably not how it's supposed to go, but yeah, I need to order something else. What would be very nice just to help finish off my Space Marine army? Sci-fi model Space Bears. Let's go have a look at the Space Bears first. Do I still have my window capture up and running? Yeah, I'm actually going to put that above me to take up the entire screen for a second. There we go. So I'm just going to have a quick run through to see what else I would like along with hammers and shields. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. I mean, there are some really nice choices. As I said, they got the Kodiaks, which are just so much bigger than the standard Makwa veterans. Obviously, I do already have technically have a set of Desolation Marines, but I'm just converting them at the moment. The missiles will be going on to standard. The 32 mils have already come to the conclusion that they're too small. I would like 40 mil bases. I think Sparkles will shout at me if I start adding too much, so I can't go sticking another bear on there. The gun variant. I think she'll shout at me for that one. So, if I was going to add anything, I would probably be looking at those. Essentially enough to 10 of those also. Now that's going to be 20 quid, give or take postage, and it's £8.50. Just take into account postage, and they are all quite nice. See, all 3D printed, all nice textured bases. Now, they do require more looking at, more painting, more detail, and more work going into them. But it would mean that I don't have to put that work into the other bases. So let me just come back to here and move you all the way down to the bottom so everything else is in the way. Well, see, I have MDF bases that I can cut out myself. I've just got to build them up so that they don't look flat and rubbish. But let's face it, flat bases. Let's grab one. Flat bases aren't great. They function. They do exactly what you need them to do. You can glue the model to them, and then you've got something to move around on. But obviously, there's a size difference. So even if it's just plain bases, even if you could just get those ones and just make them 40 mil, I'll be happy with that. If it's the textured bases, obviously, I would be happy with those as well. But Twisted, you're awesome at making bases. I'm not. So I have to do what I can in the ways that I can. What's in this tub? This tub is elderly. Okay. Which I have started base coats in now, so I do have some fascias. You can't fit 10 40 mil bases on the plate with them. Right, then we'll have a look at something else. I don't want to use wasted plates, or if you've got something that's like, I need to print one of these off and then there's enough room for them, then go ahead, do it that way. Yeah, but you have to include burning heretics because, well, heretics just need to burn. That's the whole point. Is this my paint box? Yeah, this is my paint box, and he's got a considerably fucking heavier. So we need the Open McCrag Blue, which I should have one in here somewhere because I've got about 9 of the fucking things. 1,000 Suns. Now that's the one that I'm going to probably go more for the lightning effect. But that'll be on the, essentially that's the same colour as what's used on there. That's not bad. There's 3 unopened pots of McCrag Blue. 4 on, oh no, that was an open one. Excellent. I found 1 open McCrag Blue. Although I could use Dark Prusia as well. Is that about the same? No, not quite. So go with that one. We also need Lead Belcher, which is there anything even left in this? Yeah, there is. Good. I'm going to need Lead Belcher. We're going to need yellow and Fire Bright Dragon and Pro Acryl Red. And we've already got a little bit of black in there. Get another black out just in case, and another Lead Belcher just in case as well. And then I should have a black contrast paint. Is probably fit the leader dude on. That is tempting, Graham. That is tempting. What we'll do is at the moment, we'll look at, as you said, let's try and keep it on the minimal resin side. Because that just makes fucking sense to me. And to you as well, I'm assuming. So we'll keep that on the minimum resin side if we can. That's Mephisto red. That's more Mephisto red. I need a darker red. I need a darker red. That's pink. That's also pink horror. That's another Mephisto red. I've got a fair few Mephisto reds here, apparently. Avalon Sunset, which is not bright enough. What's that one? That is Bugman's Club. That is another Mephisto. I've got a fair few Mephisto reds. I could do with a darker one. Although, if I go for... Where is it? Not Screamer Pink. Where's the burgundy? I've got Screamer Pinks, but I've got a burgundy somewhere as well. Crimson Shade. Oh, no, that might work. Do it. Fish fingers and chips with a bit of ketchup on. I'm going to try giving the hammer a wash instead of painting. Not sure if it's going to work, but we'll try. Where's my black contrast to go over the armor? Is not much left in this, so I should have. Hopefully, I've got a second one. Yeah, there we go. Black Templar contrast. I do have a second one. Awesome. I believe that is the base colours. Oh no, wait a minute. What's that one? Katachan flesh, nice dark brown. Good. Are there any models you haven't printed yet, Graham? Out of curiosity, character models, and are there any sets that you haven't? Is there anything that you've yet to put in that you haven't printed that you're thinking, actually, I can kill two birds with one stone, tack them together, send them to Laz? So tack them together, take photos, put it on the website, then send the model to me. If there's anything like that, I am quite happy. Oh, there's me other bloody dancing elf thing. I knew I had 6. Couldn't find the 6th one. Not for space, but ooh. Right, okay. I'll rephrase it. Is there anything you might think I might find interesting as a single one-off model that you're thinking I could put that on there? That'll fill the plate. You won't use much resin at all. And Laz will probably like it. Because I like look at the dwarves, as long as all the women have beards. So if there's any characters you want to print off because you want to put them together to photographed, yeah, let me know. We'll work something out. That half a plate, I would like that half a plate, but I would like you to be able to fill the full plate and not waste money. So let's have a look at some of your fun stuff. The 28mm models, they are on Discord, I believe. On your Discord? Let's have a look. Right. Announcements, I believe it was under. And these are the Royal Hunt. Royal Hunt. Oh, these are Robin Hood types. Nice for archers, rangers. There's a warrior in there as well. Ooh. Pardon me. Oh, I even voted for Lilac on your thing, and I forgot all about that. So yeah, that's definitely a potential. That is definitely a potential. Wrong bloody screen. That screen. But 28mm animals. If you've got a screenshot, send it me. I like animals. You know, I like animals. I've got 12 cats that I've painted. I've got 30 odd random other stuff that I'm painting for animals. I quite like animals. To give me something different to do that's not 40k. So I'm all right with that. Sparkles won't be, because that means I'm getting more models, and I'm waiting for her to come charging downstairs and go, "You're not getting any more," but she won't, so I should be all right with that. Okay, contrast paint. Now this is to do the armor. So I'm going to need a brush that's going to be okay for contrasts. In this case, I'm going to use the Citadel STC medium shade. Wet the brush. Always wet the brush. And now I need to cover all the black armor panels. Yeah, don't stress yourself, Graham. Don't stress yourself. I'll do that for you. If you've not figured out yet, I'll just come out with the. I'll just message you guys this, and there's practically no warning, no reason, no. Just to let you know, I might call about this or message about this. No. I'll just message you out of the blue with a random question. Fucking hell. Nick's here as well. Welcome. Positive mental attitude. How you doing, Chief? Are you sat in the car waiting to be dad taxi again, or have you actually got a bit of free time tonight? They don't need to all fit in my Discord, because ooh, I see doggies, I see birds, I see wolves, I see owlbears, I also see bunnies. Bunnies and doggos. I see 1, 2, 3. Three bunnies, 4 bunnies, 2 wolves, and 3 doggos. 4 wolves, 3 wolves. 1, 2, 3 wolves, 3 doggos, 4 bunnies. One of each. Would they fit? Oh, new camera. New cameras are always fun. What did you get? Yeah, we kind of have to, Graham. We have especially with these, because it can take a long time. You've got to try and make time to be able to sit down and do it. Otherwise, with it supposed to be actually quite a relaxing hobby, If you don't, if you're trying to force time into it, you're not gonna be as into painting it and doing what you need to do. As I found out last week, I just no, it was no matter how hard I tried, I just could not get that level of motivation that I know I needed. Because there is a certain level of, I mean, you don't have to have 100% motivation to get stuff done, but you at least need a little bit of motivation just so you can even sit down and open a pot of paint. You got the Sony ZVE one. You're a fucking ick. Sony ZVE one. You did say E1, didn't you? Yeah. E1, not the E10, please. How fucking much? I mean, it's a nice camera. Don't get me wrong. That's a beautiful camera, but holy shit. That's a lot of money. That's more than that phone and this camera combined. In fact, the Sony ZV-E1 mirrorless white is more than the PC. It's 1,625 for that one. Why is that one only 400? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's confusing me. It's confusing me. Not that it takes much to confuse me, but how the market price changes that drastically, I'm not sure. So I won't contrast over this, but then I'm going to give it a wash to try and make it look ready stony. Yeah, exactly. I was like, holy shit. But in fairness, you're looking more professional grade shit right there. And Nick does use his cameras a lot. He likes his cameras. He knows his cameras. In fact, I didn't even think about that. That might be a secondary thought now, actually. Depending on how future things go. I've got a lot of things going on in the future that's like all changey. Oh no, I've spent more on my models. I spent a lot more on models. Yeah, fuck no. Yeah, I dread to think if for some reason, touch wood, something happens and I have to claim all my models back on insurance. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot. I have equivalent of about 3 full companies. So, yeah, I can do a first, second, and third company full without any mishaps, and then I can start working on the 4th and the 10th and a few others. So, yeah, thousands is an understatement as how much I've spent on this overall hobby throughout the years. Even on just stuff like blue tack, I've probably spent like 100 quid. No, that's exactly the way to talk about me. As he said, probably call me dickhead, in which case he's right. Can't argue with it. So, what we learned doing the fur for the bear is you start with yellow, then orange, then red, then black. And I've got to do all that just round the shoulder bit. I know, Ali, but he's still probably right. Fucking mank dickhead. Oh, that'd be a Mount Wanker, wouldn't it? Sorry, get it right. Terminology from my brother city. Mank dickhead. Scouse Wanker. Right. So we need a brush that's going to put the yellow on all the fur around his neck. But we want to make sure we get it all nice in the recesses. So that when we come over to start doing heavier dry brushes on lighter dry brushes with different colours, the yellow still stands out in the deep parts. Discord. Oh shit. Right. Graham, in that case, your discretion. Whatever you want to send me, whatever you want to go, that'll fit in there, that'll fit in there, that'll fit in there. I mean, if you wanted to do I mean, just to let you know, Sparkles is not going to be happy about me doing this, but oh well. See, I'm not overly keen on the Macqua set of weapon. I already have the Macqua set of weapons, and I'm ordering others, so they're not too bad. I have the replacements and the stuff for them. I have stuff for. Let's see what you get with the Macqua infantry. Guns, claws, daggers. Very so. Oh, he's really running. He's really running. He's one up there that looks like he's got a full fucking sprint. He's going to smash himself through a wall. He is. Where's the other one? No, that's the micro accessory pack, isn't it? Problem is, I'm not sure, obviously, on your build plate, I'm not sure what fits where and how well it fits. So, oh, actually, there is part of a set, and I'm not sure how heavy it's going to be on resin. So, what is it? Space Bear Drop Infantry. But I don't want the drop infantry. I just want the smoke clouds. I've just got the look. I better stop asking for things. Hello.
Hello. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
I just heard loads of I want this, I want that.
Well, I want to fill the plate up so it's not a waste for Graham to paint.
Right.
Now, I want 10 hammers, I want 10 shields so I can do the other 9 guys like this and have a spare. Because, well, I broke this one. So, but he's got loads of cool animals now. So I want wolves, doggos, and bunnies.
Okay.
But I'm just I'm just going to show Sparkles the screen that I was looking at a minute ago and how much room I've technically got left on the plate. So that's the plate that is done. So I've got all my hammers and shields there.
Yeah.
And I've got the doggos, wolves, and bunnies there. But you see this nice big section here?
Yeah.
That's all waste. That's going to cost Graham to run it, but it's not going to be anything on it, so it's going to cost him electric. And it's
Right.
probably still going to cost him some amount of resin as well. So if we can put something in that section,
Yeah.
then it makes it more worthwhile for Graham because he gets to charge him more money because I'm getting more models, and he gets to build a full plate and it's a full printout and it's not a waste of electricity and resin. See?
Okay.
But I never want a simple order. Never want a simple order.
No.
So it's been nice knowing you too, Graham. So my idea is, because you know the drop ones that I'm forever complaining about, the stupid little plastic things.
Mm.
Graham's drop infantry don't come with those stupid little plastic things. They come with some really cool plumes of smoke that fit right into the back of the backpack and then come down into the base to be the stand. And they look far better than the shitty Games Workshop ones.
Okay.
Oh, I always dig myself a hole, Graham. Put it this way. At the moment, I'm in about a 48-foot hole. And the only reason I get out is because occasionally Sparkles chucks the ladder down just to go, your tea's ready. And then she kicks me back down again. So if I was going to do anything, it would be the smoke plumes, and just the smoke plumes from the jump pack guys, which will probably mean, yeah, which is just like, can you do anything without being an asshole, Les? It's like, nope. I found my word bearer. So yeah, let's get back to painting this guy yellow now that Sparkles has told me that she's not happy and she's been listening, and what am I doing? But she doesn't understand, with all this that I'm doing, I'm saving myself a lot of money. Because I'm not going direct through Games Workshop. I'm getting better quality products to do the things that I want and that I need and I would like. So I'm going to show you the things in a moment that I was complaining about a moment ago. The flight stands. I'll show you them so you can understand what the pain in the ass is. And I'll show you what Graham has as a far superior option. So window capture, move that up there. Right. See those three things at the top? Those are the flight stands that Graham has that come with the Space Bear drop infantry. Now, that Space Bear drop infantry, again, although he's not a Games Workshop product, it is slightly bigger than all the Space Marine stuff, so they can whinge and wind all they want because he's not into scale. But they do have what has to be, is this the right box? I hope it's the right box. I've got too many boxes. Yes, this is the right box. Yeah. And they're in this section. So these ones come on these. Why am I showing that? You can't see because Graham's website's in the way. Okay, so these ones have these stupid little stupid clear plastic things, and they are extremely prone to just snapping off. They don't like staying. It is a ridiculously small contact point that's supposed to go right up into the back of them and then hold them like this one there, and it doesn't look good. You end up with a lot of super glue because it doesn't react with plastic glue. So you end up with a whole heap of stuff that's just a pain in the ass. So when I saw those of Graham's on Rogues Den Hobbies and them 3 plumes of smoke, I was like, those fucking perfect. Those are absolutely spot on to replace the ridiculously bad flight stands that Games Workshop have. I've got an Infernus Marine in here for some reason. I'm the Apothecary Biologist. I don't know why he's in there. He should be in the other section. He should be stood near the aggressors. So, yeah. Now, I do have 9 of those guys, but I'm not going to actually try and fit 9 of them. 5. Fucking perfect. Boom. Done. Problem solved. Send me a price. I'll send you the money. I'm just going to have to send you the money before Sparkles realizes and goes, we're supposed to be saving for your wedding. Yeah, exactly. Jet exhaust. But I mean, I'm practicing on the fiery thing. So I might be able to do that with greys and other stuff and try different, like reds up at the top and more whitey grey at the bottom. So I get to try new techniques on something that looks cool as fuck, and you're actually going to hold the model up where I want it to be, instead of the stupid fucking light every time. So you can manipulate them, you can pick them up, and you can do that. But as soon as you put them on the table and try and do it, then that's when they just fall off and they snap and it's all over. Bloody useless then. All right, so now we need a brush that's going to let me get a little bit of orange. Just pop it on there because I do kind of want to mix these in a bit. So that's 22, 26. I don't think I should wait for that. If it's that lot. Good night, Ali. Thank you for coming to join us. If it's that low of a price, I should be okay. I say. I might get another visit in a minute. What do you mean you should be all right? Just because it's... So, yeah. It is a low price for what I'm getting. So, I should be all right ordering it in not long. This is going to turn into the Rogues Den Hobby fucking thingy channel, isn't it? Preview channel. And here, this person has painted all this for me, and there, this person has painted all this for me. You could charge more, you're right. The chances of me saying yes if you charge more are obviously slimmer, but depending how much more you charge, obviously. If it's only like a couple of quid more, then I'll probably go, fuck it. Yeah, why not? If you double the price, then it might be, maybe not. Right, so let's try and get the tips of these. If I can't, nice and orange. So it's slowly working up. And then we want to get a tiny bit of the red. Mix that with a little bit of orange. And then put the neat red on the top. And then red and black and then black. I never make things easy on myself, do I? So, a little strip of red there. So now I can, so a little bit of red, start dabbing it around in the orange to kind of stop it being as bright a red. Maybe add a bit of yellow in there. And just, yeah, that's not too bad. You can see how the gradient's coming through on my hand there. I mean, it's probably not the best place to be doing this, but no, this one only needs to be really light because we don't want it to cover the orange or the yellow too much. But we do want to make sure that it's on there and you can see it. No worries, Graham. You have a good night, mate. Thank you for coming to join us and for sorting that little bit of troubleshooting with me. Now, of course, everybody gets to see what price I currently will be paying for certain things. So if you're ever wondering how to negotiate with Rogue's Den Hobbies, then don't take what I do, because I just throw awkward orders at him and then he gives me a random price of not on the website. Because pretty much everything I want is a custom fucking order. I don't think I've ordered anything that's basic from Rogue's Den Hobbies. Even the bear, which is the loadout, is everything the same. I just scaled it up. And the final one, which is going to be the black one, which is the lightest of the light across all of them, just to try and give that nice flamey effect. If you're ever gonna, nope, you're not gonna zoom in or focus unless I do this. So there we've got the nice, what would be the bear fur if he'd had hunted down one of the big bears that they take into battle with them now. Then from there, it's going to be standard Stone Dragon colours. And if you're wondering what standard Stone Dragon colours are, it's that black, blue shoulder pads. And then whatever the weapons need to be. So, I have a fair bit of silver to put on this guy. And a fair bit of blue. But I kind of want to get that wash done first over the hammer just to see how it looks. Because then I'll know if it needs to go back and change it. So where have you... There you are. Shade Caraberg Crimson. Which is the one I'm going to use for this. And that's going to be painting his hammer. I don't think I've used this yet. Nope. This is a fresh pot of fucking wash. Which means, knowing my luck, I'm going to knock this cunt over. Do I have a nice wash brush? Do I have a nice wash brush? What's that one? This is the Citadel Medium Shade. I would imagine that is a good one for doing the shade paints. Well, you would imagine so, since they've labeled it as a frigging shade paint. Let's give all that head a nice wash. All of it. Don't want to miss any. So we're going to have to come back through and highlight some of the sections up for it. I'll hopefully give that a nice little bit of a red tinge once it's finished. Might need an additional light dry brush over it just to help bring that red out, but it's there for a start. Oh crap, my phone's going ding, ding, ding and going nuts. And half of them were stuff coming through from other places, including Twisted Belial, which is looking pretty damn good. If you want to go check it out, it's in the work in progress section of my Discord. It's looking quite birdy. It's nice. Oh, that is good, that Twisted. And yeah, that full plate, I'm going to have animals, and hopefully I'm going to be able to finish the other unit off in the form of these. I do want hammers and shields just for the full assault terminators, all 10 of them. I do like hammers and shields. Hammers. Who doesn't like smacking things with hammers? So he was Belial. Now he's Draco, the Black Temple Marshal. Nice. See, that's a good thing. This hobby allows you to convert things and make your own models and make your own characters. I see. I've not fully got round to making the Chapter Master Lazarus properly yet. That being said, I do have some nice models that I would like to convert, and I'm going to have some nice conversion pieces after I've paid Graham. I do say after I've paid Graham. Oh, I've got 3. See, I thought I had 3 of the nice size bases. So it's not drastic that I need to buy 40mm bases from somewhere else. I can make them. It just takes a little more time to saw them out with a jeweler's saw and then sand them down. But it is doable. Right. So back we need to come with black, which is now fucking dried. Wonderful. We love drying things and dried paints and things like that. Let's turn a little bit of black again because we're going to touch up everywhere that we've caught red and yellow across, like shoulder pads and backpacks and things. So a little bit of cleanup, not too much. We'll go with this brush because it's got a very nice point on it. So just to clean up the bits that are going to have black and silver and other sections on them, just to stop the red and yellow from reacting. There we go. So he's nicely cleaned up that. So now we shall look at the blue sections across the... Actually, no, I've just painted them fucking black again, haven't I? Silver it is. Well, gunmetal. Lead Belcher, whatever you know this colour as, just steel. And I don't mean go in and shop and rob it. I mean, it's the colour of steel. And for that, we have some edges to do, and we have some chains. And let's see now. So we're going to want the chains across the middle of that big one across the center of his chest. And the outline of these, we'll do the center dot of this. So let's bring it closer. So in here we've got a center dot. We'll do the center of that dot blue. But we will do the rims around the outside silver. Oh, gunmetal. That's it. That's the basis around them. Finish the rest of that chain off under there. Do we have any more chains around the back? No. Okay. So now we need the shoulder trim. Now this is where it got stuck to my hands and I've left fingerprints all over it. It's not doing well for me. A little bit of shoulder trim in there. A little bit of shoulder trim right down in his corner of his shoulder there. That'll be the same place for that one. And then all of this section. And right up along here. There's a fair bit of trim on this guy. He literally has trim all the way down his fucking arms. Which is good because I want him to stand out as a first company Terminator, not as a rank and file warrior. So you can get nice silver trim on his. Oh, markings of a British Mastiff. Yeah, good luck. I tried doing kind of more brownie going into like a. I'll show you. I've tried doing something similar with Griffhounds. So trying to from light underneath to slightly dark around the back. It was difficult. Getting the horns right was also quite difficult. I'm going to have to come back through them. Essentially, I'm going to have to sponge in underneath all here to make it. Apricot tan with dark ears and markings. Yes. See, I mean, it's not a bad colour, but I'm definitely going to have to work more down the chest now to lighten it. Overall, it's not a bad little chariot. I mean, I've got one up there that's not been painted yet. It's only been base coated. So I could do a red alternative. And then possibly a black Griffhound so they stand out and I can do that race. I actually bought them for D&D as opposed to for Warhammer. Or in this case, AOS is it for them? Because they're Stormcast Eternals. So I think it's AOS for them. Well, still. They're nice models and there is no reason why you can't just use them for Dungeons and Dragons if you can fit them in, if you have a reason. I mean, for God's sakes, the last time I played Dungeons and Dragons, they fought Tyranids. So we get this trim done. I can't get to the trim on the back of that arm, but I can get to that bit in the center there. And now we come around his legs. Now tonight I am I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight. But I know I've already gone longer than usual. I know it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours that I start calming down. Yeah, the only time the same with me. The only time I've ever bought AOS models is to use not for AOS. I probably have a spearhead, or enough to field the equivalent of a spearhead formation for AOS, but I don't know the rules. I've never actually played it. I mean, it could be a really good game. It could be the game that gets me away from 40k and into something else. But well, I started with Warhammer Fantasy, so AOS just seems like the 40k version of fantasy. The dumbed down rules, if you want to play a war game but don't want to go through a lot of effort of learning things like formations and tactics and stuff like that, then here's Age of Sigmar. If you do want to learn all that, then here's Old World. It's essentially what they did with Horus Heresy. Horus Heresy still runs off what is essentially the 7th edition rules, where you'll have armor facings, and you've got to spend a lot more time making tactical decisions as opposed to just charging your guys forward and let the data sheet beat the shit out of them. It's less likely that you could do the math on paper for 7th edition than you could do the math on paper for 8th, 9th, 10th. Which I'm glad about, because I don't like just going, here's my army sheet, there's your army sheet, okay, you've won. Or okay, I've won. Because I can't take out all that, and you can't touch this, etc., etc. You can literally win without actually getting onto the table if both armies have been built incorrectly. So if I've gone all anti-elite, if I've gone all elite and heavy, and you've just brought anti-infantry, you don't really stand much of a chance. As long as I can put down enough firepower to take you off the board, which would usually anti-elite. We usually with elites and heavy, you will do. I mean, standard Terminators, a unit of 10 of them will be what? 20 shots at 24-inch range. And then it's going to go through most light infantry, and then when they get close to you, they're going to hit you with something that's going to take out much heavier stuff. I knew I'd missed a bit. Make sure I get in there silver as well. So now he's getting a bit of colour. Slowly but surely, but he's gonna need that blue on him to make him tie into the rest of the force. That black and blue is going to be like the major two features to make everything tie in together. My son is yet to pick a force. I am going to be an advantage because I'm going to have a fair few forces already. So if he was to turn around and go, I want to be Tyranids. Excellent. I've got the Tyranids. I want to be Space Marines. Which ones do you want? Take them. The only difficult thing I'm going to have is if he goes, I want to play Zinch, or I want to play Thousand Suns, or I want to play Nurgle, or I want to... So why couldn't you have chosen World Eaters? I've got World Eaters. Why couldn't you have chosen Eldar? I've got Eldar. So yeah, if he ends up choosing one of the armies that I don't have, which is possible because I don't have them all, that may end up being an additional purchase. But if I'm really lucky, he's going to choose a force that I can proxy and get from third-party retailers. Yeah, I think I had a reasonable dark elf army. Essentially, it was repeater bolt throwers and cold one knights. That was pretty much the army. Range and fast. I did have some basic infantry because you do have to have. When I was playing, it was a ratios, but the repeater bolt throwers counted into that as well, so I wasn't too flooded with basic infantry, and it allowed me to put a lot more cold ones on the field. You are a cataphracti with additional layers of armor, so let's get in there and get you blued up. Nice blue arms. You can't really tell those blue shoulder pads that much, can you? So I'm going to have to add a bit more blue into certain areas. Just so this crap stands out. And I mean the blue paint, not the model. Okay. So now with his shield, I'll go through all the little triangles around the outside. You get them. It does look more like the triangles are on the inside than the outside, but with the very fact that they've done it that way means you get to choose. And for detail, these models are. I'm impressed. I've got to say, I am impressed. They are. I see. Again, I like the fact that they're more buckler style than the big tower shield style. Because tower shields are quite cumbersome. You put it in front of you, and that's it. These look more practical for blocking, punching, deflecting. They just look more versatile. And they definitely look like they're going to function as a shield. Which is what you want, really, isn't it? If you're going to want a shield, you're going to want it to function. And that looks like a very functioning shield. It's going to need a little bit more colour as opposed to just blue. So, a bit too much there on the end. So let's silver it around the edge. And that big triangle there. Just try and neaten it up a bit. See, I like these shields so much twisted that I'm ordering another 10. I just like this setup. I like how the hammers look. I like how the shields look. So I want all my proxy terminators to be in this setup. I like the claws, but I think I'll be using claws to do my arcs when I need power claws for them. I mean, I have power claws for arcs, but I would like to use more. And let's face it, a knob bomb with claws is just a fucking beast of a unit. Sticking with the pain boy. Or something else that'll give them a feel no pain. Or some nice rules to help them stay alive. A couple of cyborg bodies, things like that. And all of a sudden you've got one hell of a nasty little unit. Yeah, it does, because I mean the lieutenant's shield, that big fucking ironing board that he wears in front of him. So now I've got a bit of colour on him. Let's see if we can. I've got a feeling all my blade guard are going to be in the big black box. So I'll get the Amazon box out again because it's got the unpainted shield in it. Which is there. So although that shield does have a lot more detail on it, there is just something about the simplicity of this one. It's like if I was to stick that on there, it'll just look a little bit too big. It wouldn't look like he's able to maneuver and fight with it. Whereas that one's like, yeah, he's small enough that he can batter shit out of things with the shield as a weapon. And then he's got a hammer as well to hit you with. So now that's it, lad. Oh, hydrating, always good. All right. I'm going to have a few decisions to make. I will be back in. Tomorrow is Tuesday and I don't have anything. Yeah, it's a bit bigger. I mean, if could have just, why can I not just have one person out with the shield? I usually have one person out who's got a shield, but I think I've put them all away. What was that? That was an intercessor. That's going to be converted into something else. That he's going to become a desolation marine with the missile launchers that should be going on this guy. But you see things, you change your mind, you do conversions, other things happen. What's in there? That is, oh, that's not good. It's Eldar piece. That's the bit that was gonna change into something. That's a Stern Guard veteran. So that looks to be mostly Necrony stuff. Don't ask me why I've got Necrony stuff. I don't have a Necron army. What's in this one? This one is different type of shield, more of an Arky shield. The more standard combat shield. Crap load of backpacks. Some chainsaws by the looks of it. Some fancy ones as well. Ooh. So that might be a bit of fancy stuff in there. That's what that might be. Oh, there we go. We've also got a plastic Death Company arm. That's why that's in there. And the thing for me all there. Right, so yeah, cool bits are in that bit. I figured out that that's the tub of cool bits. But I don't have a single Blade Guard veteran. No Blade Guard veteran. No captain with relic shield. It's not like I've got fucking 15 of the things. So I should be able to find at least one. Apparently not. Let's not bend my ruler anymore. Right. Let's have a look at how his hammer's going. And you can see the slight little red bit at the back, but it's not so dominant on the front. That is not good. It is not good. So we get this brush. I know it's got a bit of black on it, but I kind of want that because I don't want it to be too tight. Hello, Aminette. I'm alright. Mine's currently my cat's currently asleep on the settee there, so I'm going to leave her there because all she ever does with me is whinge, fucking whinge. If I try and move, it's where you going? Is it to give me food? It's like, no, it's not to give you food, cat, because I gave you food 5 minutes ago. But that was 5 minutes ago. Why are you coming to give you food now? It's because you've just been bloody fed. So there we go. That's definitely looking a little bit redder. If red isn't even a word. And we need a tiny bit of fire dragon. He says put a great big fucking dollop on it. Let's mix that in there, mix that in there. Just want a slightly brighter variant of that red. If we can get it. Really, really slightly brighter. Not a lot. I'm going to test it on my hand against what was on there. Yeah, that's a bit more like it. Let's just get off most of the excess so it is actually going to work like a dry brush. And then very lightly just try and catch down the areas that I want to be the highest and the brightest highlight. Ah, there we go. That's looking more like a great big whopping red hammer now. It's just the quantity of blue I'm not happy with. See, when I bring one of these down, the blue shoulder pads stand out really well, even against the red gun and the black armor and the gold. It works. When I look at this jacket, now you can still see the blue on the back of his arms, and a little bit on his shoulder, a little bit on his actual shield. So I think I'm going to have to put another. I'm going to have to do a little dot in the middle, either silver or blue. So if you do that blue, I might have to paint the rest silver. So it's just blue triangles, blue dot, silver shield. Or I might just do blue and leave the rest black. Fuck it, I'm just going to do it blue and leave the rest black. I'm going to see how that looks. I don't want to start adding loads and loads and loads of colour onto it because that means I've got to go back and then paint it black if it gets too much. Which, let's face it, it's never fun to have to go back and retrace your steps and do something just because you fucked it up. Yeah, that's a bit better. And make sure we get a bit more in the ones that have not fully got the triangles. Could really do with better eyesight. So I'll fulfill all the blue triangles around the outside. See if I can bring them up. Forgot I need to use the... So it is possible to see the blues. Obviously that hammer's very in your face with the red. I only start looking at the back of him. Pardon me. Because he has got a bit of a loincloth thing going on. And I've just smeared my hand right through some wet paint. Nice. Got all over my bloody hands everywhere now. For some reason, my hand always ends up like this after I've been painting. I wonder why. Maybe it's because I use the back of my hand doing my brushes, so clear off any dry brush and things like that. Could have something to do with the reason why I end up with a handful of paint by the end of it. Yeah. It is what it is. And I get the effect that I want, so a little bit of scrubbing the next day on the back of my hand isn't too bad. Just don't use the scrub, Daddy, because that takes the skin off. Right, so we have clothy, 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 clothy. We have a lot of cloth. Now, cloth's relatively easy. You paint it ivory and you give it a Agrax Earthshade wash. Now, some of these bits up here may not actually be cloth, but if I can paint them ivory, I can see what they are. Possibly a little bit easier than if they was just black and dry brushed. See, I've missed some chain going up there. That's cloth, and that looks like fur in there actually. So that's going to be fun. After I've just gone and worked out all that and it's all dried, I've just found more fucking fur. And it's right above the bit I've just painted ivory or white. No, let's just have a look down the back. Yeah, there is a little bit there. I thought there was. So now I've done that, I'm just going to give that a quick dry brush over so that I can start pushing yellow up into there, and I'll come back and do that once it's dried. But it also means I won't be doing the wash over these sections just yet in case it screws up. The problem is having black skin. I'm not sure what to do with the hair color because something tells me it should be either white or it should be black. I don't think I should go for like a browns and some of the more natural tones that you might see. Maybe we'll just do it a little bit lighter, then I can contrast his face. Just so his head does actually stand out to actually be there. He doesn't look like a, well, bald like me. wash that off. Find the black contrast paint. There it is. This is a very, very good base for how my Hammer Terminators will be looking in the future. And then we darken up his face as well. So he's quite a blonde hair, dark face, plenty of silver and black going on. Not as much blue as I would like. But I'm going to have to do compromises somewhere. But there is enough on there so he can match in with Terminators and other units. Where have you gone? Yes, some of it gone. So having him stood, yeah, they'll go quite well together. Oh, shit. They'd go quite well together on a battlefield if you were to say standard guy, elite troop, or elites. I think that would work quite nicely. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Now, I may call this now, but what I'm going to do, I want to have a little bit more of a think about whether or not I can do something on it. Like, I might grab out the Dawnstone just to cover this base section where he's on his tactical rock. I might put a little bit more of a dry brush on some of his legs just to stop it looking flat black. Although it's not looking too bad. And I'm gonna have to do up there, aren't I? I'm gonna have to do right up there where that see this little bit of fur here? Just that little bit, and then it comes down into basic tabard bits of cloth. Right. That section and that section and that section there. And there and there and there. And there. Okay. Now, I've painted quite a few Space Marines, as you can probably understand. And as I said, I've got three companies worth, and each one has approximately 100 men in it. So it's at least 300 Space Marines. So I've painted one or two. And although this isn't standard armor, this is not a standard armor pattern from Games Workshop. This is, as I said, completely third party. This is not a Games Workshop model, nor is it actually a 40k model. I can make it fit with a bit of conversion and using rules. That being said, he's really enjoyable, actually. There's enough detail on it to give you something to paint, something to focus on, give you points of interest to draw your eye to, but it's not overly complicated. I don't have all the purity seals and the little skulls and the little keys and I have lots of little bits of details that are unnecessary, but I have details on it that will make him stand out. So once I've washed all these, I've put the fire fur up there as well to match up here. Obviously his nice red hammer, which I might stick bronze in some of it, or brass, or a metallic color just to help give more. Well, I would imagine so. I mean, the similar size, the weapon loadouts are correct. So if I was to say, right, well, I've got 10 assault terminators and 10 normal terminators, I don't see an issue fielding them as essentially the same type of armor, just different weapon loadout. I don't see a difference, but my opponents may do. So for the time being, What is that image, by the way? I need to check that image. Right, yes. For the time being, I'm going to take a small break because it's just gone over 2 hours now. A little break. I'm going to come back. That should have a chance to dry. Try doing the things up at the back, the fur up at the back, and then I'm going to finish the tabard and look what to do next. This might be the closest I ever actually get to finishing a Warhammer model in a single sitting. So I'll try not to be too long. I'm just going to put that up there at the moment. So it's be back soon. And you know that I have just taken a small break and I shouldn't be too long. Hello, everybody. I am back. Let's get myself prepared, shall we? And stop that music. I don't know if you could hear the music. I did try and put something on just in the background so you could see you had something to listen to while you're looking at that picture. I did realize that I'm going to have to clean this brush off though, unless I have another one. Oh no, I have another one. Oh no, it's too thick. Ah, damn it. All right, so you're going to have to get cleaned off. Probably it's really bloody small to clean this off. It's going to be a pain in the backside because I can barely reach the bottom of it. I can barely reach the bottom of my bloody washed up, my new one. Well, I say new one. It is second hand. I got it off my friend who gave me all the Imperial Guard. But for me, it's a new one. Let's see, what's that? That's a piece of paper, that'll do. Beat off all that dry pigment. Get it all off there. I want that dry pigment to be reacting with stuff. This is an old jacket, so I'm not too bothered about this one. This one's decades old and needs replacing anyway. Right, there we go. We've got a relatively clean brush to do this with. If I'm having any sound issues, please let me know. Now I've come back in. Because, well, actually, I'm going to kind of find out by going that way. I'm going to turn the volume down on my desktop first before I do this. And can I... Why does it never actually put me up on my own display? It tells me messages about half an hour after I've been in. But, yeah. It doesn't actually tell me how many people are watching. So hello to all 6 of you, 7 of you. Just had a quick look. And I think he's counting me as one. So I'm guessing 6 people. Thank you all for staying. 2 hours, 15 minutes now I've been going. It's, I don't know, it's been a long one and I'm not showing signs of stopping. I'm not showing signs of stopping, which is rather rare for me at this stage. Let's face it, I'm tired. I was late at the gym today, so when I went, I didn't finish till about 7:45. Obviously, having to come on and do this as well. A couple of hours ago, I could have quite easily fallen asleep. There we go. So we've got a bit of yellow down there, and then we get the orange. In this case, I'm just going to scoop a bit out with the paintbrush. Pop it there. I'll move it up. So there's the yellow just used. I'm going to pop the orange there next to it. And again, I'm going to build up in small layers of yellow and orange, red and orange, and so on. So make sure I get all the orange off. And clean my bloody brush. One thing I do forget to do a lot is clean my brush. A little bit of a lighter orange. Rather than trying to dry brush, I'm just going to stipple. It is good to go in the evenings because, yeah, as you said, you get tired, you do the workout, you do the shower, and you sleep well. I decided to do it before coming live, knowing that I was going to have to at least a 2-hour live stream to do, but I couldn't quite get to go during the day. When I did go, it was extremely busy, so it was difficult to get my full setting. I, I managed most of it. Just all the free weights were just used, so I couldn't do deadlifts. Oh, what a shame, eh? I couldn't do deadlifts. And then tiny bit of red while I'm doing the red. So I got a feeling I will sleep quite easy tonight once I've finished on here, which will be nice. I could do with a good night's sleep. I've not had a proper one for a while now. So I could definitely do with a decent night's sleep. So hopefully that's what the gym will have done for me. And now do the orangey red. Just to blend it again, just to make sure I'm getting the slightly more orange and slightly more red on it. And then really fucking light, really bleeding lightly come across these. Ah, caught his backpack. That's not good. Yeah, get in there. And then I just want a bit of pure red. Try and mix whatever yellow and orange is already in there out. Come on. I want you to be really, really dry on this one. I'm literally just painting my hand at the moment. Should get gloves to be doing this with. And then right across the back there. And then again, I don't want much black on this. I want all the black to come off. So it's very, very little. And then just light across that bit there, just to give it something like what's on the shoulder pads. It's a difficult area to get in with dry brushes, I've got to say. It's not the most fun area to get in with dry brushes. Now I want. Now is this the self-made Agrax or is this the real Agrax? This is the real Agrax, so I want this one. We get the brush again, the one that I cleaned a minute ago. Dip it in the Agrax, and then we come to these sections. You want to be a little bit liberal with this, but you don't want to go too much. We can always come back and dry brush over it, but if we get pooling in the wrong areas, it makes it a little bit more difficult to do. Not impossible, just a little bit more difficult. Come in, cover these areas as well, and then it's tabard and the bits down the side. And we can also do the same on these bits just to turn them a little bit more brown. Now we have quite a reasonable, seeing as it's a single night sitting, from putting it together, priming it, and painting it. I've not. I don't think I've done too bad. I've not done brilliantly. I know. I'm not claiming that I've done awesomely. I'm not claiming that this is the best painted model in the world ever. But what I am saying is this is adequate. I quite like that. But just to help finish it a little bit, let's get a slightly bigger brush. Get that black. Let's just paint the base just so it doesn't look as messy because it's all that white on it, and you can tell there where it's just been painted and base coated. Let's finish off somewhat of his base so it looks okay. I know he's going to be coming off it, but while he's here, I don't want it to look shit. He is looking ready for battle. He is looking ready for battle, and it's a nice tester for the rest of them. So just finish painting that black so it's a little bit more even of a color to look at him at. I see that. See now that I painted that black, like all the colors seem to stand out a little bit more, which is a nice thing to do. So let's see how he racks up rank and file with other Marines. So let's see who've we got that looks a little bit special. We have the old librarian, which again, even though it's slightly blue, cloaks, capes, oh, they're going to look okay. I think on the battlefield together. Let's take him off that for a second. And now I can start putting other models around him to see what he's going to look like stood within the army. Have I got a 5-man squad there? Yeah, one. Well, he's got no specs. He's just generally pointing like the other fella. He's got another specs. Is that the only? I've only got 4 out. I do. But as a general, let's move this round. If he's going to be stood on the battlefield with those guys, let's turn him a little bit. So, no, I think he's going to look okay. He'll stand out enough so you can tell that the Terminators with assault weapons. But upon closer inspection, you look at it and you realize he does actually blend in. He's got the same color. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's the cataphractii. I saw it. I saw the way the plates laid up on the shoulders, and I thought that's very similar to the cataphractii Terminators that you get in the Horus Heresy starter box. Well, then you only get claws with guns and a fist. You don't get the hammers. I like the hammers. If you haven't guessed already. No, I'm relatively pleased with him. I am relatively pleased with him. So let's see if I can bring him in a little bit. Come on. Nope, you're gonna make me get that out again, aren't you? Okay, I'll knock everything off my desk and get that out. Especially move the stuff that's got wet paint across the nib. So let's pop you there. Bring that up a little bit closer, and then there we go. So, as a veteran Terminator for a Salamander successor, that blue does stand out quite well, actually. That blue stands out better than I thought it would now, got it on the black background. There's a few things that could do with a wash, namely the chains. If I want to turn that light down now, that's just too bright. It's glaring. Where's the negative button? There it is. Oh, that's a plus button, you bloody idiot. There we go. So I still need to finish off the backpack. The hammer, I'm liking the red. I do want that to be the general power weapon color. I'm messing about with lights, I know. I want that one. Oh, okay. A little bit brighter. So I do need to finish off the backpack, finish off a few silver sections, and possibly colour this bit in the middle here blue, just so it's not as bland from behind. But I am happy with him. Just double checking there's no more bits that I've missed that I need to get. Not really. Most of it now is requiring washes and his eyes. So excellent. This unit will be continued once I've placed that order with Graham. So depending how long it takes me to get through to that, I might be doing the rest of these next week, or I will be looking into converting these guys into the Desolation Marines using the missile launchers that I also got with these fellas. But I've got to say, I am impressed with the versatility of these models. If you don't want to run a big, chunky bear army, they convert nicely just by just slightly upgrading so you can run them as a veteran, run them as first company. If you do want to run a bear squad, though, this size armor will be your standard tactical grade armor. I mean, there's not much difference between these two or the Terminator. It's like literally sits right in the middle, so it could quite happily be either. Setting up with the equivalent of a bolt gun. Maybe if he's a sergeant, he gets a close combat weapon. But most of them can be set up as standard troopers. And as I said, if you get the Kodiak ones, which are bigger still, they're slightly bigger than these Terminators. So they do sound slightly proud, a little bit more, a little bit chunkier. But if you're using them as the standard guys, you'd want the chunkier armor to represent the bigger units. Now, also on Wednesday, I will be getting the Chaos models that come with Combat Patrol. As you can see at the back here, I've been messing about with Chaos color schemes. I have finalized that this will be the World Eaters color scheme that I'm going for, which is very heavily Zenithal, but works pretty dang well. But it does also mean that I will be repainting this gentleman because that axe just screams calm. It does. As well as finish painting this gentleman who also screams Khan with his nice chainsaw. And so I do have some Chaos Marines that I can start with, which does also mean that I have Chaos Marines that will be heavily converted, such as that is a beautiful axe. And I don't see any reason why I can't now paint him red to have a sergeant or a character model for the World Eaters. So I do have a fair few to do. And double knives would quite nicely go in with it. Not so much the bolt gun guy. He's not. He doesn't fit quite well with the World Eaters. Neither does the Meltagon or the Plasmagon or the Heavy Weapon or the Sorcerer. But those three and him definitely up for conversion for World Eaters when I will be getting them. See, what I might do is get Dark Apostle and just flat out steal that axe for him because the Dark Apostle does look quite nice, but he is generic Chaos Space Marine, not World Eaters. So that will be that chappy there. So what I might end up doing is taking the book off and putting the axe on instead. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these two acolyte or two dark disciples. That's going to be a decision I'll have to make in the future. They might become special jackals, or they might end up being converted into D&D characters. Thank you. I like the fact that you confirmed that little bit for me because there's a lot more red and a lot more yellow going on this model than most of the other army. So it'll look good going alongside the bear because he has the red and the yellow to go with him. So, that's gonna be nice. Brutalis Dreadnought steaming forward with the Salt Terminators. Yeah, I think I've gone a bit of melee focus on that one. But the red's nice, but I do want just a little bit of metallic along it. So with that being said, I'm going to pull out the bronze. See, gold, yeah, I could go gold. It would work. I know it would work, but I want to use a bit of bronze. I want to use colors that I don't normally use and are less frequented. So it makes these units stand out because they're the only ones that have that type of color on it or that bit of that on it. So tiny little bit of bronze. And then we'll look at the trim of some of the sections of the hammer and see how we go from there. Loosen up the brush. So let's have a look now. Then you see there are some sections there where you can see it's metal around the edges, and you can see indentation, and you can see. But if I do that, then the majority of the hammer is going to be painted brass, bronze even. But if I was to just do the small panels in the middle, I'm thinking that's going to be a better option because it's not as overpowering on the color. And with the bronze, it should merge reasonably well with the red, just giving small shiny spots if you catch it right. Just to stop it looking bland, essentially, just to looking all one color. But the black and red will be the power weapon color of choice. That was way too much paint than what I actually needed. And I shall go in and check on Discord at the end of the stream because it has been going ding 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 quite a lot for me to while I've been on here. I have had a chance to pop in and have quick looks. Obviously, it does mean that it takes me out of. See, there you go. Just a little bit of brightness, just a little bit of shine. Not too much, but enough to show that it's just not one flat color. There we go. So now he has a slightly shiny hammer, very slightly shiny. Yeah, where literally I have to move it for you to be able to see the shine pop up there. You see, but from a straight one. Oh, the Mastiff. The Mastiff. Let's go have a look at work in progress. Oh, now that's a nice tan color. That is a nice tan color. Nice layering as well because it's more like the where's it gone? The highest layer seems to almost be like Avalon Sunset or as like a Xandri Dust. Whereas that's a nice brown you've got there in the muscle tone. That is some nice tonage. A lot of metal to do though. I'm not look. I don't envy you with the amount of metal you have. Right. So well in Disco, that's looking nice. That twisted. Let's go back into it again because there are other works in progress up there as well. Like your Belial with the shiny 24 carat gilded bloody Titus. So many good things. So many good things. I, I don't even know where to start with what you all paint in the work in progress section. All I know is it puts me to shame. It puts me to shame. Minimize all. There we go. Yeah, he's a very cybered up puppy. He's gonna outrun a Buick. I I don't think there's anything really much more for me to do on this now. Really, so I do need to just pop. Have I got any? I've got no wet blue. Right. Okay. I don't particularly wish to get a load of blue out just to paint that little section there. So I'm going to leave that for now until I'm doing something else with blue and with silver because I've just spotted two little chains down the back of his feet. So next time I get gunmetal out, which will probably be when I'm doing the rest of these, I've got to remember I've got to come back and do his feet. That's not a good thing to forget. However, I am happy with him. Happy with him. Finish off Tarkus the Grim, so I'll finish off the rest of the unit and get my animals and something else in the middle. I can't remember what I asked for in the middle. I know I asked for something else, but I can't quite remember what. Bit of an inking, bit of a wash on him, and he should be completed. What do I do about the banding round here? Do we just give it a normal wash so it seeps into the recess and gives it almost a white banding around? Definitely going to have to watch it well pack it out, and it's got that metallic on it. I think I should do the rest of this metallic as well. Because it is all metal. I just realized it's a great big engine. Maybe it's not an engine, it's certainly a power supply to help crank this hammer up from 10 to 12 as it's smacking people about. We have a bit more metallic on it to make the hammer stand out a bit more. I think I should do the same with the pommel as well. A lot of this now is just finding bits that I need to paint and that I've missed, and having to go back, and I'm trying to avoid as much back and forthing as I can. So if we can get it now without having to waste a load of paint, I will. Just get in between there as well. Just that little connection point between the spike on the hammer and the actual hammer head. Very nice. Very nice. I shall try and take some up close pictures of this in a moment. Once I'm no longer using my camera. And I'm going to take a few photos of him and put him up in the work in progress section. I'm just going to do the one thing that I really don't like doing because it's super small and tiny and hard to do. So you have to get this brush out. Because all their eyes are this colour. So I am apologising if I get in the way of the camera for this bit. And there he has his bright red coal eyes, or burning coal eyes, not with a helmet. Still have red eyes with a helmet, but that's just because it's the natural colour of their eyes. And I don't like using them really small brushes. There we go. So now I'm going to take close-up photos, which I can't do while I'm live. So I'm going to call this stream here, which has been, what, 2 hours, 45 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for coming to see me this evening. I had all 8, 9, however many people are watching. Thank you very much. If you've enjoyed any of this, you want to talk to me, there's a Discord link in my main channel. If you have to go to the channel, there's a Discord link. It's free to join. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, which is all free as well. I'm trying to get my schedule back on track to do the Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. As I said, I already think I'm going to miss Thursday this week due to other plans that I have during the day. Wednesday, I'll be covering this week's and last week's issue of Combat Patrol on this Wednesday's Combat Patrol review, as well as possibly doing a few modifications to the model that's on there. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much, Twisted. This has been a productive evening for me. A very productive evening for me. I normally don't get anywhere near this much done, do I? But I think I've done okay for tonight. Singular model, put together, repaired, primed, painted up to a tabletop standard, which is good. That's all right. I think I've done okay. So, as usual, drive safe, look after yourselves. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm going to get back into OBS because I can't end the stream from the other screen. And I look forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday this week, and then Monday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. Because next week I'm going to try and get the full schedule back in again. To be working on the Magical World on Thursdays, Combat Patrol on Wednesdays, and obviously Models and Musings, which can be pretty much anything on a Monday. But thank you all for joining me. Drive safe. Hit that subscribe. Hit the like. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you've been here before and you've not joined in the chat, please feel free to join in. I like talking to you. I like communicating with you. You are my community now. You are the people that I come here to do this for, as well as my own therapy. So, yeah, thank you all again. Enjoy the rest of the night, and Yeah, drive safe, stay safe, and see you all.